Good game, bad community. Hello, this is Connor Stoops, and this is the first episode of Loomian Legacy's Hottest Takes, where I go onto my community post tab on my channel and I post a question on gathering people of what their hottest takes are. This will hopefully be a first episode of a long series I can do. So yeah, let's get straight in to these hottest takes. Alright, so first one from Nathaniel Gutierrez 7800. Hopefully I didn't pronounce that right. And he says the Vari line is one of, if not the best designs in the entire game. That is indeed pretty hot. But I wouldn't call it the best line, because when you tell me that stuff like Venolin and Wendolin are on that line, and in my opinion Venolin and Wendolin, and I guess you can count Servalin too, are really bad. So yeah, I guess that's a good take, but not really. Next one we have from user, can you just please have your own handle? He says Umbrat is actually decent / good. This is actually a good take. If you do not know, for the past UU tournaments, Umbrat has actually been making a rise as of late, and while that's not actually because of Umbrat itself, it's actually because of Valkyrie and Protagon being in the UU tier, and since they are so polarizing, Umbrat is a good teammate with them because they can trap in land types and stuff that is weak to their coverage or resists Valkyrie's and Protagon's coverage. So down in UU it's actually pretty good. However, up in OU where walls aren't really relied or are weak to dark, it's not really that great, but in UU it's actually pretty good. So user, a bunch of letters and numbers. That's a pretty good take. Next one is Terra needs a buff nerd emoji. And actually, we have another question concerning Terra from Joshua Star 77 or Joshua Star 77 with the Geklo profile picture. He says Terra is actually alright, no questions asked. Even with Obsidian and Tundrelin existing, it can actually wall Zulong, Metronet, Deldrix, Eclipse, and even Cephalops. Or actually Cepolopops. Or Cepolops, like he says. It isn't amazing, but it's actually alright. I actually think this is pretty decent. However, Terra, in my opinion at least, is pretty bad. I do think it's unviable. And the main reason is it's going to be similar to Loomian that I'll be posting about later in the week. And it's basically, it has no recovery or no consistent recovery. Rejuvenate, it doesn't have that. So its only form of recovery is Parasitize and what's it called? Health Amulet or Milkshake. And unless you're clicking Parasitize every turn, and unlike Harvestec, Terra does have an energy stat, this is not going to be working out too well. And as of, it can actually wall Zulong, Metronet, and all that kind of stuff. That is actually kind of false because, like I said, no recovery. So this means because Barbs and Ice Cold Traps is a really big part of the metagame, Zulong, Metronet, Deldrix, Eclipse, with the right setup, can of course kill Terra very easily with the Barbs. Next one we have Warlord Megatron or Warlord _ Megatron with the profile picture of Warlord, I'm assuming. Says Ventation is better than you think, and I've given evidence of it in your tier list videos comment section. Alright, let's go look there. Alright, so it's actually in this thread by EPB17. Watch how you word those letters man. And he says, well, to give a synopsis, he basically says one brace and a battering ram tanks a lot and easy to wear down. He says to counter my argument of Ventation being the wear down, he says, nah man, Vent is that wall which not a single melee attacker can win a 1v1. Okay, and I agree that Softfire is not the best recovery move, and that makes a great candidate for Elf Amulet. But the thing is, Warlord Megatron, Slapdown exists. You also do have Hazards, which negates Health Amulet. And if you say, well, you can stay in more, like I said, or I will be saying in a future video, it's not really the best because Ventation's very susceptible to being able to switch in, and most of those times it is range attackers or melee attackers that can threaten it out, so that health amulet is being put less to use, and Brace is legit better on it. Yeah, it doesn't use its melee attack stat anyway, but what about the range attack? The burn utility is great, okay. And he just shows some damage calculating with a range attacker, comparing it to Obsidian, and then they just go for a huge thread comparing it to Obsidian. So I do not want to get into that, and I'll just post my video on Ventation later. Jaw7157 saying there should be a notification or reminder or some sorts that your rally ranch gets full. This is actually not a hot take. This is a pretty good take. I don't know why you're putting that in here. So yes. And we got from user dash many letters and numbers that I cannot be bothered to say with the 3 bears profile picture. Says Bane of Haste Shachi is broken, especially in doubles. Oh my god, okay. I don't think this person has played real doubles because most of the time people who play doubles are not really the best at them, and that is mainly because Bane of Haste Shachi is not that great because one, Shachi, a good Bane of Haste setter either needs to be fast so it can set it up first. Good examples of this is Ferroglyph, or they need to be bulky and slow so they can take the hits and set up Bane of Haste. Stuff like this is arguably Joltooth, a Bane of Haste Joltooth, Bane of Haste Icicle, other stuff like that. And when you have Shachi here, Shachi's in the middle of the road in terms of speed tier, and it's very frail. This means that Bane of Haste Shachi is not good. Unless we get a move that diverts attacks to your teammate, so Shachi is untouched like a taunt or something, which I'm pretty sure Haganosh has with bait. Other than that, Shachi cannot set up Bane of Haste consistently. So yeah, this is a pretty hot take and a pretty wrong one in my opinion. And we got one from Redemptions. Actually, before that, we got another one from Asian Fried Rice 4121 with the Pokemon profile picture. Says your snack Shachi Baffle is decent. No. Your snack, I guess in a competitive setting, it's not that great. But in casual setting, I can see it because the meta is not really prevalent there in terms of the overall stuff. So yeah, I guess this is a decent take. Next one. Redemptions. Not really that hot, but I do not care about the story progression as much. Redemptions, really? The story progression. You cannot get Soul Burst without story progression. You cannot get Mega Stones or whatever they're gonna be called. You can't get Loomians, new Loomians. I agree that story progression isn't that important, but Battle Coliseum or Trade Resort. Okay, before Atlantean Part 2. Okay. And actually, I'll link Redemption's second one with that Rare Bear saying... They're both saying that Soul Burst will be a bad mechanic in competitive, and the community will probably write. Okay. Soul Burst. There is no way that Soul Burst can be a bad mechanic. Because unless Jamie makes it so, like, for example... Soul Burst, you have a limited time window when you can use it, and it drains energy from you. Unless Jamie does that, which I don't think he will. He's too dumb. Or not, he's too smart for that. Soul Burst will not be a bad mechanic. I can see Jamie going into a direction of where he can either distribute the base stats, or he could add base stats on, which is what Pokemon does. So yeah. And finally, we got one from Alai Kuka with the weird profile picture. He says, Nevermare over Metronet. Okay, there's so many wrong things with this post. Alright. So, with that all out of the way, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you found this video entertaining, learned some new things, whether that would be from people's stupidity, people's smartness, for example, the Umbrat guy. Yeah, I don't really know. Okay, bye.